I immediately think whenever I read something from Medium, it's trash, straight trash, trash. All right, so let's find out. Okay, so functional versus OOP. Are you guys excited about this? I'm excited about this because this is, I feel like this is a topic all of you degenerates just love. Do you love functional crap? Oh, yeah, it's Medium. Yeah, I know, it's Medium. You gotta be careful about Medium. Medium is a place in which good-sounding programming articles are there to bait you into something that's actually terrible. All right, here we go. So he's given some basics right here: encapsulation, pure functions, abstraction, first-class functions, inheritance, immutable data, polymorphism, referential transparency. Now, I may know all of those words individually. Let's find out. This is a great, there is a great misunderstanding of what object-oriented programming really is and its origins. The term object was first coined in the 1950s and became really popular in the 60s on Lisp circles as a powerful design pattern. Finally, in the 70s, the first object-oriented language, Smalltalk, was developed by Alan Kay. The truth is that what object-oriented programming really represents has been lost over the years, as modern languages kept copying the syntax and ideas imposed by the C programming language. Alan Kay has declared publicly that many times that the essence of OOP is the concept of message passing. Wow, this article goes straight to the heart right now. Okay, there's no warming up right now. We're going right. Normally you read an article and the first 2 paragraphs are just meaninglessness, and then we actually get to it. This might be the first article I've ever read that just goes straight to it. All right, and that modern programming languages focus more on object notation itself than the concept of message passing. This, of course, is the motivation for this article, and our focus here will be to show the essence of object-oriented programming using a popular modern programming language, JavaScript. I hope you enjoy this journey. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? So before going deeply into object-oriented implementations, it is fundamental to go deeply into the prerequisites. Let's start with messages. So what the hell is a message? It's a good question. I don't even know at this point. When you want to communicate to 2 endpoints, you need a standardized information to be passed along the way. Message is the standardized information and is essential to guarantee that the 2 endpoints will be as decoupled as possible. It is important to notice that if the producer sends a message that the consumer does not understand, nothing happens because it is not a predefined standard. Wait, shouldn't something happen? So let me get this straight. If you send a message and the consumer does not understand it, or the producer, the consumer does not understand it, it just does nothing? Shouldn't you give a 400? I'm just thinking in the terms of HTTP, right? Yo, dog. It's not good. Producer, 500. Consumer should be a 400. Yeah, 420. Yeah, I'm a teapot, 428, right? All right. Our problem. Suppose I want to grab the student's best grade from a list of grades in all the exams he participated. We could write a silly function to do that without complex functionality. We just use generic. Okay, why is this a silly function? This is not a silly function. This is just a function, okay? Let's see. Okay, grades equals length. I hate this statement. Okay, let max equals grade 0. Nice, I like it. I equals 1 less than this. Okay, looking good. Grades max, yes, return max. Fantastic. The above code works perfectly, but since we are working with an array as a parameter, it does not sound very semantic. So I'm not going to lie to you. At this current moment, I don't know what that means. Can somebody explain what this means to me? Let's just say I know what it means, actually, okay? But maybe you, Twitch chat, could explain it to someone that doesn't understand it. Once again, Twitch chat has the ability to be completely useless whilst making me angry. Idiomatic does not equal semantic. Okay. It is not, somehow telling me what something not very semantic doesn't help me know what it is, right? I could describe an elephant as being not a cheetah, but that doesn't necessarily help me know what an elephant is. You know what I mean? It is not clear that the list of grades belongs to a single student. How do we fix this? Well, there are 2 solutions to the problem. We change the name of the function to get student best grade, and we pass the parameter of the student as an object. Well, of course, we'll focus on the second one. Yay. Okay, I'm confused. Using the class keyword, Let's see. Well, since we are object-oriented programming lovers, damn, we can do it with the word class. This is such an easy job anyways. All right. Grades this, best grade. Okay, yep, I understand that. Okay, this code looks much better. To me, I don't really see a difference between these two codes. I mean, so real talk here. The only reason why I would put something into a class like this is if it had a complicated data structure and I need to do like several things to it, or state was needed over time, or some intermediate calculation was needed to be held onto. You know what I mean? So this doesn't look any better or worse. It just looks the same to me. You know what I mean? All right, come on, Carlos. Now the code looks much better, as I can simply pass on the student as a parameter, and bingo, much better. All right, Carlos, get the best grade. Come on, Carlos. But this is not the idea behind this article. It looks quite nice, but we are using JavaScript object-oriented notation to do that. Why not do it with functions only? Keep on reading. Okay, I'm reading. Okay, I'm reading. You don't need to tell me to keep on reading. I'm reading. Our first functional object. Okay. Let's see. To fully understand what we're talking about in the next paragraphs, we need to start simple. We need the first concept of function scope that creates a function counter. So, by the way, just so you know, this right here, what we're seeing right here, I just want you to know that you're going to produce a lot of memory. Okay, just throwing it out there. You may not realize what you're doing. Okay, a lot of people don't understand what they're doing. And so they don't really realize that this type of JavaScript is not really... The thing is just because JavaScript can do something does not necessarily mean it's a good thing. Do you know what I mean? The call stack can also become very upsetting as well. Holy cow, that is a function that returns another function. Yeah, that's fine. This is a normal thing. Yes, I know. I know you didn't even need to put these little things around it. You actually made it look scarier by putting these things around it. You don't even need to do that. What the hell? What? Okay, don't even do that. I know it may sound absurd for many people, but that is actually very useful. I like to tell people that the first function is a function builder because it lets you create more dynamic functions. Okay, but what the heck is state? I think of state as anything that can cause your functions to output different values for the same input. In this case, the parameter initial does exactly that. Yes, okay. As you can see in the example above, for the same counters, every time we call the function, we get a blah, 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 review node. Okay, I think we all understand. Now, do we understand state injection? We can complicate things a bit more and write JavaScript-only class using functions only. Why JavaScript only? Because we'll use a JSON. Okay, what the hell are we talking about at this point? All right, so I'm not going to lie to you. This is not better. There's several reasons why this is not better. First off, you really don't need these parentheses here. But also, there's something else that is really frustrating about this. Now, one thing that makes JavaScript so good or so kind of fast here is that when you do this in a class, the function itself is created once, right? It's on the prototype. It's what it's bound to that it's changed depending on the object you call. Whereas this, it's actually recreating the function and the closure every single time. That's just substantially more memory and more garbage collection. This type of programming that I'm seeing right here, I would argue probably doesn't make your servers run as good. Now, the real question is, what does it mean, run as good? I would say this is bullshit. I would never use this type of syntax. Don't use this type of syntax. This is demonstrably more confusing than the previous one. I know, I'm going to keep on reading, but I'm just saying, this right here in of itself, I would say that whatever the conclusion of the article is, don't do that, okay? Just don't do this. Let's keep on going. It's going to get better is my hope. But this is not good, okay? This is not good. And by the way, if you put a space in between these two things, I will literally fist fight you in a PR, okay? Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't nitpick. Yeah, run prettier and stop putting a space between a function and the name, okay? It's annoying, okay? Don't do that. Stop it! Also, what the hell does that even mean? What is that? As we can see, we use the same approach on the counters example. Our function student that represents our class receives the grades as a parameter and maintains its private attribute, grades. The public methods get grades and get best grade of this class are returned of this object function abomination are returned as a JSON. It's not returned as a JSON. JSON can't even It's not, no, it's not JSON. Okay, it's not JSON. It's not JSON because JSON cannot encode functions. If you were to simply encode this object, all you would get is nothing. You'd get an empty object. This is not JSON. This is an object. That's all it is, okay? It's not Gizmal, JSON's proper name, which is Gizmal. I don't know if you know that, but Douglas Crockford actually was going to name it Gizmal, JSML, JavaScript Markup Language? Anyways, Gizmal. We could have been saying Gizmal this whole time. All right, there's nothing greater than that. Nothing would have been greater than Gizmal. Yet look at us here. Look at us here, TJ. The dismal Gizmal. It's dismal that this Gizmal happened. Okay, anyways. All right, since the class is written using a fancy-looking function, there is no need to use the new keyword. Somehow that doesn't make me, like, impressed. Right, like this is not impressing me yet, but I'm very curious where this is going because there must be a good reason for all this. All right, this implementation is very common in old JavaScript source code. Yes, but we hated it. But it is very powerful. No, it is not. It literally isn't. The reason why it was so popular in old JavaScript is because a function was a class. That's what made it so powerful. So if you look at old JavaScript, you'll actually even see in a constructor a basic check like, is this window? If it is, return new of myself, right? And so it's like, JavaScript was just a piece of shit language. Now it's just a shitty language, but like it was like a genuine, just horrible language, and you'd have to do the craziest stuff to make it work. So, okay, I'm ready. The fun begins now. Let's have the fun begin. I'm very confident that this is going to get amazing, okay? Message passing, object notation, MPON. You guys want some NPON? All right, here we go. Let's write the same object before using our message passing strategy. Okay, so what's happening right now is what I would refer to as the worst code I have ever seen in my entire lifetime. There's something about this that does make me a little excited. I'm not going to lie to you. I love seeing new ways in which people build things. Like, this is exciting for me, but this is one of the most confusing pieces of code ever. The reason why I dislike that, okay, is first you call a function that does this useless closing over a variable. This is useless. You don't need to do this. There's nothing there that it actually, just name this thing underscore grades if you want an underscore, okay? Second off, it returns a function. So that means every time you call this function, it actually creates a new function. That kind of sucks, right? And then inside the switch, you're actually creating new functions. So every time you call it with a message, you're actually creating a new instance of a function that should just be existing as a prototype. It should just be a reference follow. Instead, it is a function creation and then a function execution? I don't know. As you can see, this OOP implementation at first sight does not look very elegant in JavaScript, but I can guarantee it will work on most popular programming languages. I mean, we could dress a turd up in a dress and say, hey, it looks nice, but it's still just a turd, right? The idea is not what is being implementation can do differently, but how we can extend this and implement cool hierarchy. Okay, so this is what I'm excited about. I want to know why this is good, because maybe I'll change my mind. I'm willing to change it if you can show me one problem that's hard to solve otherwise, right? To use the message passing strategy, you'll have to understand that for each message, the object will have to create different handlers, functions that will be specialized in dealing with the message. If we pass no parameters, then we can simply get the function and use it in a more flexible way. Below, I show how you can use the message passing strategy. Okay. One thing that makes me really frustrating is you will defeat the LSP. The LSP is utterly dominated at this current moment. It doesn't exist anymore. And I have a problem with that, okay? I have a genuine problem with defeating an LSP. I'm not even sure how to make this work in TypeScript because I'm trying to like run in my head, how would I make this work in TypeScript? With a switch statement, I don't think you can make these things a part of a type. Like, I don't even know if it's possible, right? You'd actually have to have these duplicated. It'd have to return a function that has a generic parameter of where message is of type T, right? You'd actually have to do that. So what you'd have to do is you'd have to do like function generic something and messages of type T, and that's what can be passed in. Maybe, shit, I'm not even sure. But then you'd have to like define that. I don't know. You'd have to define every single key twice. Yeah, message would have to have a type of get best grade or get grades. Like, there would not be any other one. Is this a meme? I don't think this is a meme. To use message passing strategy, you'll have to understand that for each message. Okay, yes, we already know this. Let's go on. All right. The advantage of using this object and not the previously declared object, the one using Gizmal, it's not Gizmal, it's called a POJO, a plain old JavaScript object, is the fact that the case we need to send an invalid message, there will be a predefined response for this request that we can model for our domain. Okay, inheritance and polymorphism. For this example, we also need a class to extend from, and there is no other class that looks nicer than person. I was not very creative, really. Since every student is a person, this means that every student should have all the attributes and methods of the basic base class. Okay? I really don't understand this. I really am struggling with this. I also just realized that there's 1.6 thousand clappies. Those are 1.6 thousand engineers that I'm right now considering not hiring. That was rude. I don't know. I'm feeling very suspicious right now. Anyways, since a student needs to extend the base class, please tell me it's a function that returns a function that returns a function that returns a function. Since student needs to extend the base class, we should also have some nice things to make it all work out together. Yep. Students must have a name and an age. So from now on, the constructor should also take that. Yeah, one of the attributes of our class will be the base class. Will be constructed with the parameters set on this. Okay. If this message we are looking for is not found, we'll redirect it to the base class. Oh, gosh. So my guess is that it's going to be a function that returns a function. Oh, no. Okay. To me, it would be even cooler if a student took in a person and grades. So you'd actually create a person, and then a person could become a student. The person could become something else. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, that's at least a little bit more interesting. Variable equals private member, but it's not private. It's already private. Okay? Okay, so a thing that's really stupid. Hear me out here. A thing that's really stupid is having a naming convention in a language that does not, like in an itch. Okay, so I understand that underscores should have existed in early JavaScript because you're trying to convey a meaning via a name. This public grade right here is not accessible from the outside. Therefore, it does not need an underscore. It's not private. It's just not available. It's a closed over value. It's a closure. And so look at this. He doesn't call base with an underscore because you don't need base. You don't need that. It doesn't make any sense, right? He's effectively, right now, what's happening is the recreation of the prototype chain, right? This is a prototype chain. It first checks yours, and then it goes and calls base and checks up the next one. Finally, we can have a nice little class that extends person using functions and message passing only. You can use it in the same way as before by sending messages. Okay. Again, I think it would have been really amazing if we would have had a person, if Johnny would have been able to be passed into a student and then now, obtained the student things. You know what I mean? Conclusion. I hope you like what you read. I feel like the greatest letdown just happened in my entire lifetime. I really thought there was going to be something more to this. I really thought there was how you do something intentionally wrong to show how complex it is, and then afterwards you rip the mirror away, and bam, you just see how amazing it is. It didn't happen. Honestly, please, whatever you do, don't ever do this. I mean, I even see the phrase of there are lots of other things we could implement, such as method overloading and multiple inheritance. Ouch! Multiple inheritance has never been a good plan. No!